anniversary, we've been going on about this actually, 30 years to the day since you first lifted this UK title back. Yeah. And I know you're not keen to discuss your performances out there, but you've got to take some pride in the fact that 30 years you're out there doing it still. Yeah, no,
you just keep, I think you just get to the point where you just think, oh, I'll just keep going there for as long as I can, you know. I think when I was at 35, I thought probably done and dusted, you know, because that's what usually happens, you know, you don't win so much, but I've had my best 10 years, so from that point on, when I just thought everything's a bonus, every year I get an extra plan, just to, I think you appreciate it more, you know, because it's like having a second life in a way, you know, born again snooker player. Not
you are indeed, and you had to do it in the jimmies today, the gym shoes were on.
Yeah, I got plantar fascia, you know, so I just sore the old foot. So yeah, just put these on.
You were setting a new trend, you know, these new shoes, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know about
new endorsement.
If you win the event, will it be on eBay? You stick them.
I'll tell you what, it's been such a busy few days, hasn't it? Because you've had the premiere of the documentary, The Edge of Everything, last week. Yeah. You're on the green carpet with David Beckham. You've had all of the lights in your face, all of this attention, and here you are having to try and get back to business here. It's been, I'm sure, a pretty surreal out-of-body experience at times. What's it been like?
Yeah, no, I knew I was going to have to do one at some point, and I just thought doing a behind-the-scenes one was pretty different. You know, I don't think many sportsmen have allowed that sort of access. So I thought just try and give people an insight to what it's like. I'm not sure if other sports people go for it, but, you know, as a snooker player, I'm sure I'm not the only one, you know, so I thought it was... And I wasn't worried about, you know, people seeing me in a bad place, because you just been like that for 30 years, so, you know, you just get used to going, well, it's just normal. It's normal for me. It might look bad to other people, but that's just sort of like comes with the territory, you know, so especially at Sheffield. But yeah, no, it was fine. I'm glad it's out the way, because now I can just focus on playing, just get into just playing. Yeah.
How difficult was it to sort of be that open and to bare your soul almost, and let people into your world, you know, world as a snooker player and as a sportsman in general, like, you know?
I found it easier doing it than watching it, to be fair. You know, when I watched it back, I found
quite
it quite
emotional.
Yeah, I found it quite, like, I felt a bit gutted for myself in a way. You know, like, poor fella. You know, but actually doing it, you get used to feelings. You know, you're not really sure how you look on the outside, but you know, yeah. I can now see why I look at some of my mates when they see me and they look a bit worried. So you can't see yourself, but inside I know I'm going through it. But it's sort of, you get used to it, you know. Just sort of.
The reaction's been amazing, Ronnie. I mean, even Jim White in The Independent, he's quoted as saying, Ronnie O'Sullivan is our greatest sportsman and the most devastatingly honest. And the devastatingly honest bit is the fascinating bit for me. And for me, I just wonder, having got it all out there, all the missing pieces of the puzzle, is that almost like a relief to get it out there? Is it sort of cathartic or not?
Not really, no. I'm actually wish I hadn't in some ways, because obviously you get people coming up to you wanting to talk about it, and you just think, I don't really want to have to talk about it, you know. I've done it, don't put it out there, but it's, you know, it's like, yeah. So hopefully it dies down after a bit. But yeah, no, it was fun making it. I must be honest. I don't think I'd have won the World Championships if I wouldn't have done it, because I think that was the sort of push and the motivation I needed. You know, it just put a bit of pressure on me, which I think you need sometimes. You know?
And that motivation, when you won 30 years ago, you won the UK Championship, and now you would never have known you would still be playing at the top of the game when you were 17. But you've now replaced probably the wonder and the excitement of the game with more professionalism to keep on going through the motions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I find like the matches quite long and hard now, you know. Like, but I think the more I play, you know, if I can win two or three matches in a tournament, you get used to it. But you find, I find it harder just to concentrate maybe and just have the hunger, you know. So yeah, but you know, you just like for me, like playing competitions, you have to really dig deep, you know. Like someone against Anthony, it's not about playing well; it's just about digging deep and out battling them and that's hard at my stage, you know. That's why when I play exhibitions and invitation events, you can have a bit of fun with it. It's still serious, but you know the guy ain't sort of like fighting for every ball, and you can kind of relax a bit, you know. And at my age, you want to relax a little bit, you know. 48. You know,
do you find that you have a special affinity with this tournament, that you want to try a little bit harder because it was your first major, or the Triple Crown events in general?
I think like these tournaments to create a bit more of a buzz, you know. You're more under pressure, you know. Like you feel it more, you know. Like this, the Masters and the Worlds, especially the Worlds, you do feel it a bit more. So I think you generally get up for it a bit more, you know. So I think that's just naturally for everybody, you know. But
And it's not the Crucible, which you described in the film as an evil place from your perspective.
Yeah.
It's York. Does it feel naturally lighter in that regard to be here?
Well, you're only playing like best of 11s, and it's only like a week. You know, 17 days is a long time to hold it together. All you're doing is at Sheffield, you're just trying to hold it together. You know, the game becomes relevant after a certain point. It's like, can I just keep myself like standing up and not thinking like I just want to run for the exit door, you know? So you go through all these sort of emotions, and well, I do anyway, and I'm sure everybody else does. And that's how do you want it bad enough, you know? And if you want it bad enough, do you prepare to dig it out? But it's hard to keep wanting it, you know. Some years you get a better feeling than others, you know. 2022, I thought, I've got a bit of a sniff here, you know. I felt I was playing all right, you know. 2020 I was not great, but I kept it together mentally. I think it helped not having a crowd there, because I don't think I would have done it with a crowd.
Yeah.
The pressure would have been too much.
Have you ever spoken, and sort of not necessarily players want to speak to other players, but ever spoken with John Higgins and Mark Williams about how they're feeling about the longevity within the game?
I've listened to John Higgins, what he's saying in the press, and he's saying like, I feel like I'm a much better player now than I was when I was younger, and I know what I know what he's saying. I feel like that sometimes. I think I'm hitting the ball really well.
Yeah.
But I'm having to like dig deeper. That's the only difference. Whereas before I didn't feel like I had to dig. I just felt like I just come out there, bang, 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 and even if it weren't good, you just sort of like I don't know, it just felt easier. But I think now you have to dig deep. But I do feel like a much better curist, a much better player, more consistent. And
you got more knowledge, you got more experience as well.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you can't think, you know.
Battle scars.
Yeah, battle scars. Yeah. But I think you just got to try and enjoy it, you know. You know.
Are you enjoying it a bit more now, or?
I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy struggling, you know, with the game, the technical side of it. So I'm always tinkering. When I get that right, then I think, okay, sort of, you can play with a bit more freedom. I don't like having to fudge my way around the table, you know. I just don't get no pleasure out of that. I want to, you know, pot a ball and hear it crack the back of the pocket, and, you know, open the reds up and things happen, you know. When you're struggling, it's sort of like one ball at a time. You think, if you're on the cushion digging down, you think, like, how have I ended up here? I find that difficult, but I've realised, you know, that you have to dig yourself out of the hole a lot of the time.
Join the club.
It's the same for everybody. You know, I don't care who you are. Even Hendry in his prime, he must have felt like he had to do that at times, you know, because it's not always going to be going the way you want, you know.
No, you had to dig out a little bit today from 2-0 behind, Ronnie. But I have to say, on behalf of us all, it was a brilliantly brave thing that you did with that film. And I think it's given us all an incredible window, not into just your life, but I think it's given us a proper window into the pressures that all of you snooker players and elite sports people go through. So thank you very much, and let's have more of that sort of performance.